We're still listed as scheduled. There we go.
There we go. You know what? I hit the timer. I never hit go live. Well, this is already a disaster. I'm frozen, apparently. You can't see my face. I feel like
it's just not doing nothing.
Who is that? Who's the character in DC? Mr. Terrific. Technology can't pick him up. That's what I feel like. I feel like, you know, like security cameras can't see my face. All right, we are back for the 9th installment of Please Friday the 13th. Stop fucking me. How much longer can this go on for? Yeah. What are we at now? We're at Jason Goes to Hell, which is episode number 9. If you want to get technical on there, there we go. Jason Goes to Hell. Of course, as always,
Friday.
Yeah, we had the final chapter 18 episodes ago, and now we're on the final Friday. Yeah, this is no way to start a new year. Holly's right about that. I'm John Goes to Hell, Scary Larry Dwyer over there, and below us is Stu. And of course, if you want to check these guys out, you can go for Stu to swoproductions.com, and you could like and subscribe to his website, and you could read the articles that he writes where he reviews all the movies he watched last year, and they'll make you absolutely crazy with his opinions on movies. If anybody out there notices, luckily it's my face and not one of the other two good-looking gentlemen, but apparently my camera's a little off today. That's okay. Yeah, so go to SWO Productions, and you could check Stu out and his crazy ideas on what makes a good movie. Somehow, I'll just bring this one up because it's something that we talked about.
Hey, Jason, you're moving.
Jason, was I frozen before?
Oh yeah, you've been frozen the whole time.
Yeah, you've been frozen the whole time.
Lord.
Yeah.
Lord. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry I was frozen, everybody. Yeah, so Stu thinks that Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. Was that the one? Jason Lives?
Yes.
Is better than
Alien. Solid star and a half better.
Better than Alien. Yes.
Sigourney Weaver, Ridley Scott, Alien.
Yep. With the really cheap setting.
Yes, Patrick. Yes. Yes, Jason Lives better than Alien.
You heard it right.
Yeah.
You have to judge these things in the context of society.
Your brain? Yeah.
You should judge them in the context of reality. That would help. That would help. If you start there.
Of course, that's where you can find Stu, SWO Productions. Again, right there. You want to find Larry, of course, you can go to horrornewsnetwork.net, and you can see his list of 20 of the best the 20 best horror movies of 2020. That's a lot of 20s in one sentence. But he came out, he did the thing he said he was going to do. He watched innumerable movies to get to this point, and he gives you a list. So you know what? If you're milling about and you're looking for something to do on a, I don't know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, any night of the week, you can check that out. Check out some of those movies. Of course, you could also go to ConnecticutClassics.com, where you can look at pictures of shows from what is now a year ago and go, I remember doing stuff, and boy, life was grand. But you know, you can also go on Facebook on Saturday nights and watch some really great stuff like this last weekend, New Year's Evil, man. That was a good one. That was a lot of them have been good. A lot of them have been fun. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, it's fun.
There's a whole bit in that movie where you follow the serial killer as he's driving with these two women, and one of these women can only be described in 80s terms as like a bimbo, and it's somebody put in the comments that it's like the only time that we might see a serial killer kill himself before the movie's over because he just looks so annoyed at her.
I was annoyed. I was annoyed at her, and I've seen the movie like 30 times.
Yeah,
doesn't matter. I still get annoyed every time. Every time.
All right, let's say hi to some folks out there. Dino, what's going on? Chris Ramirez, Alien is a 5-star film. Jason Lives, not so much. And Eric, anyone have any corned beef? We're getting to that. Yes, we do. Of course, it's Eve. Hello, guys. DP Galley. Oh no, not this film. And I think Holly. Yeah, John, I see you. Not. Yeah, I might be dropping in and out and freezing. I don't know what's going on with my internet tonight, but you will hear me at the very least. So
yeah, you're consistently moving at least.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're alive, sir. You're still alive. Let's see what does Holly say. When this was on pay-per-view, I can only see the first 50 minutes for free. Yeah, those 50 minutes were the best part of the movie, except the last 5. Yes, we'll get to it in a second, but Larry texted me the other night, and I agree with him. The first 15 minutes feature what might be the hottest girl in the entire franchise.
Totally.
Right? So we get that right off the bat. I do want to talk a little bit about
It's the 90s in this movie, so officially, whenever they're scantily clad women, they're not wearing the granniest of granny panties anymore.
they're not wearing the
You know who that girl was, right?
No.
Really?
No.
That was she was the blonde girl in Roadhouse that got naked at the bar.
Oh, I'm Your Saturday Night Girl, that one?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and she's a stunt woman actually. She's been in I'll figure out what else she's been in. She's been in other stuff too.
Interesting.
Also, she's a New York Mets fan.
Yes, she is. Did anybody else think during that whole beginning scene that like you were just waiting for her to take her hair down from under her hat? Because she had the hat on and it was all tucked up under, and you're like, they're just giving us this like moment where she does that, and she absolutely does that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're right. She doesn't wear granny panties like a lot of the 80s women did, but she has that new 90s thing where it's like those panties that come up high on the hips, like the old like Gen 13, like 1991 comic book style panties, where it was like sexy if you wore your panties on your ribs somehow. By the way, we're going to talk about this a little bit, Patrick. Anyone watch the interview with the director on the Blu-ray? He does make an impassioned case for this movie's merits. Larry messaged me the other night and said you have to watch the director's interview. I did last night, so I finished the movie last night, and me and Larry were talking about this right before we got on. We'll get to the ratings at the very end as always, but this guy gets points. This guy gets a lot of points, and we'll get into that. His name's Adam Marcus, right? 23 years old. Larry, what do you got?
So her name is Julie Michaels, and like I said, she was the blonde bimbo in Roadhouse, but she was also the naked girl who beat up Keanu Reeves in Point Break when Point Break goes into the circus.
Oh, when he goes into the house, right before Anthony Kiedis gets it in the foot.
She's got like the tattoo up her side. That was her.
Okay, all right. Point Break, by the way, if you ever want to check out a pretty decent podcast, you can go to I apparently don't have my own thing here, but you can go to Pint of Comics. I'll check out the latest Pint. And in the latest Pint, myself, Andrew Morgan from the Nomcast, and my partner Lloyd, we talk about our top 5 movies from 1991. And I want you to go listen to it. But spoiler alert: Point Break.
Only one of you had Point Break.
Point Break is on my. I can't believe nobody else had Point Break, but it's a great movie, and it deserved to be there. So before we start getting into hell, before we get to our personal, our Jason hell, let's move into hell with Stu for a little bit.
Okay.
The last episode. Now we've been doing Pint of Comics, the actual podcast, for about 5 years now. We've got 170 episodes, and we've done videos and all that stuff. The last episode of the Fridays with the Pint has what I think is one of my favorite moments ever to happen on the show. It is when we have a very long discussion with
like 11 minutes,
about 11 minutes long, about pastrami and corned beef. Now, if you do not know Stu very well, Stu has the nourishment intake of a toddler. He's a 40-year-old man. He consists heavily on Pop-Tarts, candies. Subway is a way of life for him.
Like twice in the last half a year.
Every time I ask you what you ate, you're like meatball grinder, Subway.
Yeah. Well, Stu, you did admit maybe on your former podcast or when you were on the Pint one time that you spent, like, there was a period in your life maybe pretty recently where before COVID you were like going to the mall and eating like McDonald's every day or something for lunch, right? Like chicken.
Not McDonald's, but well, I mean, I do eat McDonald's a lot though, so that doesn't really mean anything. But yeah, I used to go to the mall and get stuff from the food court a lot. Charlie's Steaks is good.
No, it's not.
So Stu consists of
people are snobs.
You live in Pennsylvania and you're saying Charlie's cheesesteaks are good.
Well, I don't live in Philly.
You're gonna get run right out.
I live a very long way from Philly. Everyone here hates Philly.
All right. That's
is that a thing? Is Philly and Pittsburgh a thing? Like not, you know?
Yeah. Mostly because of hockey. The Penguins and the Flyers are a big rivalry. I don't think the other sports matter because I don't think the other sports, like, we don't have a basketball team, and in the football and baseball we're in different things, so they never play each other. But yeah, in hockey, the Penguins and the Flyers, their fans hate each other.
All right, that's fair. And Stu, if we've never mentioned it on the show before, is from basically born and bred in Pittsburgh, and he is a Seattle Seahawks fan. Yes. So you actually have, like, if I was from Pittsburgh, you have one of the teams that I would be like happy to be a fan of. Like The Steelers are a history team.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know,
no, they're assholes.
Like, oh my God,
they're the worst.
You are right there. You have one of the history teams of football lore, and you choose the guys
from New England. You have a good team.
That's 20 years, man, and I'm not a Patriots fan. That's
fuck the Patriots.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? The Patriots.
I feel about the Steelers. Steeler fans are the worst. They don't know nothing.
All right. Eve gives me a point break. I guess that's.
No, that's wrong.
Yeah, we'll discuss that. I don't think that's right. It's not the food court, therefore it's not snacking. Yes, thank you, DP. I like that. So, anyways, we talked about this. We have to get to it. Stu is going to try. Stu, what did you end up? Did you get both, or did you just get one?
Yeah, so this was more arduous than it had any right to be. This took several trips to find what I wanted. But this past weekend, Amanda went out and found corned beef, but they didn't have pastrami. They only had corned beef, but she got that. And then I went out several times, and delis around here keep the weirdest hours, apparently. I went out at 3 o'clock on Saturday, and there was a sign up that was deli closed at 2:40. And then I went out tonight at 6 o'clock, and both the grocery stores by me, their deli closed at 5. And then at 6:30, Amanda was like, run to Walmart, see if they have it. And so I went to Walmart. I got back home at 7:21 with 9 minutes to spare for the show, and I have pastrami and I have corned beef.
A world of
and they're not even open. So this is brand new. Jackie Brown's a terrible movie. I don't want to hear it down there. Jackie Brown is awful.
Jackie Brown is not a terrible movie.
It is certainly
Jackie Brown's
not
terrible.
It is certainly, yeah. Eric,
so boring. It's so boring. Literally nothing happens.
Eric Notkin is the purge over there. Yeah, Eric, you would think, when you're talking like me and Larry, we're in central South Connecticut, Southern Connecticut, and Stu is in like Metropolis, Pittsburgh, and we're the ones that can get pastrami. Like I have pastrami in my closet here, I think.
Hey, this smells good. I hope for this.
All right, so yeah, Stu, what I want you to do.
We're not gonna cook it. We're just gonna.
I'm not boiling my meat. Okay, so calm the fuck down with this boiled dinner bullshit.
Well, no, you don't boil it. You fry it. You pan fry it. But whatever, you do you, man. I'll be over here. I got popcorn. I'm good.
All right. Holly gives you what Jackie Brown is fantastic, and she is correct.
So bad.
Eric has pastrami in his pocket, as he should, as all New Englanders should, especially this time of the year. We're barreling into March. Once we get into March, we're going to be eating stew. You know how Christmas is? Like you see commercials for Christmas all the time, like during the whole month of November and Christmas and December. Yeah. Here, from like the beginning of March to the end, till about the 17th, all you see is commercials for corned beef and cabbage, and people eating corned beef and cabbage in the streets, and their breads and their mustards. So, all right. So let's see. What are you going to do first? What are you going to try first?
I'm going to go with the corned beef first because it smells and looks terrible. Right. Whereas the pastrami I'm actually interested in. It really does look like roast beef, and it smells like it, and it makes me more happy. The pastrami reminds me of ham or bologna, and I don't really like that.
Well, the corned beef, you mean?
Yeah. Okay. The ugly, crappy one.
All right, give the corned beef a sniff. Give us an idea, just right there.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Now, Stu, are you we didn't really talk about this. Are you a texture guy?
Pretty much only in terms of mushrooms. I can't eat mushrooms because they're like boogers, but other food textures doesn't really bother me so much.
Okay. All right. Stu's first ever bite of corned beef at 40 years old. Oh, he finished it.
That's not awful.
It's better if you throw it in a frying pan.
Yeah, if you had it in a frying pan and or boiled it. But we'll be fair. We understand. We want to get talking about Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah. Yep. My cat is trying to get it now.
Well, of course. Your cat would eat your puke if it had a chance. So
so here's the I'm gonna have cat mania up here. This is a bad idea. Cat mania running wild. Ooh, olive loaf. Ooh.
Yeah, olive loaf I don't agree with. No.
Me neither.
All right, so this is the pastrami, which I have more hope for.
All right.
Pastrami is a different taste. You get a lot of pepper, a lot of coriander, a lot of spices.
No, that's unusual.
Well, yeah, definitely unusual. I'll agree. There's no way. We said it last podcast. There's no way to describe pastrami.
Yeah.
Pastrami's coated in like I said, coriander seeds and peppercorns and.
Well, can we eliminate it from what you said last time? Was it seems like roast beef to you? right? Not roast beef.
No, it looks like it. It smells like it, but no, it doesn't necessarily taste like it. That went the opposite direction of what I expected. I think I like the corned beef more. And based on the look and the smells, I did not expect that to be a thing.
All right, now listen, now get out the frying pan.
We'll wait. We'll stay right here.
Get in the
I'll
kitchen.
just get out a pot with water and just fucking boil it, apparently.
No, you don't boil a deli. You boil a whole brisket. You don't. All right, we're gonna get into this whole thing again. Probably just move on.
Yeah. Well, hey, look. Thank you very much. Yeah, we got so right here. We got Dino says, spent my high school years working in the New York deli. Pastrami is a sacramental element to me. Eve, right there. Pastrami is great. And yeah,
peppercorns.
Well, yeah, because they do. You know the way it's all made. You can get some little hard nuggets in there, but and Patrick says corned beef is better. They're two different things.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
two different things.
Holly made a Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 reference, is what that was. But
with the with the
you're not fooling me.
The trophy.
You're not fooling me.
Gherkin? What's a gherkin?
It's a little pickle.
Little pickle.
Oh, that's like the sweet pickles.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
I'm not a fan of sweet pickles myself either.
Dill
I
pickles
like half sours. Dill pickles, the half sour guy right here.
I like
half
dill.
sour.
I'm a dill.
Yeah.
I'm a dill pickle.
Dills
guy.
are good. I have no problem with dill. Oh, so you're making a sandwich too?
Yes.
Okay, that's
You
not.
said it was good with mustard.
That's kind of the wrong mustard, but it's enough. Do you guys
I
like
love
eggs? Carl,
You need a nice brown, like a nice spicy brown mustard.
Yeah.
I
But
have
it's okay.
that, but I'm not going to the kitchen.
it's
don't blame
okay.
you.
It's
Don't
okay.
blame
Take some bites in between.
Mustard.
You got any sauerkraut over there?
No, I would
No.
never. I would never, because that is objectively the worst food. We've had this conversation. I don't understand how anybody eats that. I don't even like being in the same room as it.
As what?
Sauerkraut.
Jesus Christ!
I
Smells
love
like
sauerkraut.
death.
My wife says I love watching Larry get flustered talking about food and cooking with stew.
I
And,
try to pull it back, but sometimes I just
Stop.
get a hot take from Patrick here. All pickles are bad.
All pickles are bad. What?
yeah.
Patrick-
That's
Patrick,
not-
where are you from?
I mean, morally,
Yeah, Holly's right. Horseradish mustard really would bring this up a notch.
I think that's what I have upstairs in the fridge that isn't the yellow mustard.
Oh,
I
nice.
think I have horseradish mustard.
You know what? This is a good idea. Eve has had maybe the best idea so far. We need to take a vote and have Stu eat the top item we choose. What I think we have to do is over the next couple episodes, all right, we have to determine common things that Stu's never had before. And then maybe every episode
I don't
we'll
think
do a
there's that
segment.
many. I don't think there's that many.
You never had pastrami.
It's not normal.
It is normal. It's very normal.
It's super normal.
I've asked so many people about this in the last 2 weeks, and everyone's like, "No, I've never had pastrami."
What is going on in fucking Pittsburgh, man?
There's real lunch meat. We have actual real lunch meat here. We have roast beef. We have turkey breasts. We have salami. Nobody needs to eat this third tier.
Permanente Brothers definitely has pastrami.
I guarantee. Yeah,
I know for a fact that they do.
All right. Here's the next one. Here's the next one. For Jason 10, Jason X. Is that movie called 10 or X?
I say
All right.
X.
All right, I say X too, but okay, so for Jason X, Stu has to get a half pound of head cheese. That's a joke, Stu. Don't do that.
I like most cheeses.
Oh no, you would not like head cheese.
It's not cheese.
It's not cheese.
No. Is
It's
it like
like-
is this a euphemism for something dirty?
It's
Yes,
like
essentially.
they take all the scraps on the floor and then they like encase it in a gelatin and like slice it thin, like noses and ears and tails and shit.
Yeah, it's literally horrifying.
Not cool.
I worked with a guy years ago who was probably in his 70s. Really nice guy. We were eating lunch one day, and he's eating a sandwich, and I said to him, I go, his name was John. I said, John, what are you eating? And he goes, you don't want to know. And I go, what is it? He goes, it's a head cheese sandwich. And I knew, and I went, I knew. And I said to him, I said, how the hell do you eat that, dude? And he looks at me, and this is like a serious moment, like a serious adult moment. He looks at me, he goes, John, he goes, if you know what it is, don't tell me, because people have told me that if I knew what it was, I wouldn't eat it. So please don't tell me. And I just let him go about his happy ignorance, because that's not my job to fuck his day up. But it's exactly what Larry said. They take They take the head, they melt it down, they throw all the scraps in, and then they mix it with aspic jelly. If you ever go to a deli, although in Pittsburgh you probably won't have it because you only have 3 meats in Pittsburgh. But if you ever
have the relevant meats that people eat,
if you ever look at that cheese,
beef, bologna, ham.
Yeah. Yeah, and bologna, right? Bologna, which is a fucking hot dog.
Bologna. I don't eat bologna.
Just a big hot dog.
Here's the thing. Now I have these sandwiches, but nobody wants to watch me eat. So
I want you. I'll take a bite. Take a bite of each sandwich.
Chew a sandwich.
I
don't need that in their life.
I've been shoveling popcorn into my mouth for like 10 minutes. Don't worry about it.
I got a couple beers here. I got 2 beers. Go ahead, enjoy yourself.
I used to work with a guy, Eugene, and one day he's eating out of the styrofoam container with the stuff that looks like fried calamari. I'm like, Eugene, what the fuck are you eating, man? He's like, oh, that's chitlins. I said, I said, what? He's like, I would think I was only like 16 at the time, so I didn't really know anything about food or anything. Chitlins? I was like, what the fuck's a chitlin? He's like, try it, it's good.
Is that an
he's like, put some hot sauce on it. Give it a shot. I was like, all right. So I put it. I was like, kind of chewy, like rubbery, but not awful. You know, the hot sauce taste was good. Finally got it down. I was like, what the fuck was that? He's like, oh, that's pig intestines.
Yeah.
I was like, motherfucking Eugene, don't you ever let me eat some shit like that again without you telling me what it is first.
You know what's crazy about chitlins? Or everybody calls them chitlins. If you ever see it spelled out, it's chitterling.
Chitterling, yeah.
The crazy thing is that when they make chitlins, I watched this show about it one time on the Food Network. They have got to like seriously rinse the casing out because the casing is the intestinal tract and asshole of the animal. Yeah. So if there's even a speck of poop left over, there's poop inside of it at one point.
Of course there is. It's an intestine.
I'm surprised you guys are so against this. This sounds like something like, oh, you got to have the pig poop. You just boil the pig poop.
No, I think
people up here in New England eat the pig poop all the time. It's fast.
We'll get Stu to make a blood sausage.
Surprised you out in Pittsburgh don't have pig poop just sitting around in Walmart.
If we were in Kentucky, we might be arguing that point. I do want to bring up something that Eve says here, which kind of makes me laugh. It's the fruitcake of meats. I like fruitcake. I might be like the one dude on earth. I actually like fruitcake. I don't want it like a lot. But like Christmas time, this woman I used to work with, she still stops by and brings me cookies, and she always brings me a half of a fruitcake, and I demolish the shit out of that thing. It's like just a small little piece. All those weird little candied little fruits and stuff in it. And I know it's like it shouldn't be good, but I love it. So I'm okay with that.
It's not good.
All right, so which do you think is better, Chitlins or Jason Hart?
I would.
Good segue. So yeah, let's talk. We're 20 minutes in. Let's get into it.
Let's talk about
let's get into it. We got a lot of stuff. We got a few other things to talk about too tonight. One thing I do want to throw in there real quickly for everybody who's on right now, because we got everybody on listening. We have decided. Larry made the suggestion.
Oh yeah.
We're going to finish this up, right? We're going to finish up the next couple of episodes of Friday the 13th, the next couple of films, because it's ending soon. We get to the reboot. We're going to do one episode that's going to cover the 2 fan-made films, Never Hike Alone and Never Hike Alone 2. So we're going to watch those. Never Hike in the Snow. We're going to do one episode for both of those. And then we are going to move this operation, whenever that happens, over to Elm Street. We are going to go through the entirety of the Nightmare on Elm Street series. And so there, I don't know, what are there in that? Like 8?
I don't know. Springwood, Ohio, here we come.
Yeah. So we get to skip Freddy vs. Jason a second time. 7. So we're not going to do that again, but we're going to do that in this one. Yeah. So we're going to be going from Nightmare on Elm Street all the way through to what was it, Freddy's New Nightmare, whatever they call that.
I don't know. The reboot. With
Jackie Earle Haley. And the reboot, yeah, with Jackie Earle Haley. Absolutely.
Yeah, see, this is your recommendation.
You forgot. Well, Larry, trust me, Larry, this is the first one so far that Larry has messaged me multiple times. Can I possibly get out of this? And he's more than welcome to, but I told him that, that would be very, there would be no honor in that.
There's no honor.
And since Larry is a quarter Japanese, honor is very important to him. So he could not bow out of this.
No, I was gonna fucking
Hari. So we're here. It is Friday the 13th, part 9, technically. Now, a little backstory to this one. let's go over a couple things. This is the first in the New Line era of films. So Paramount finishes off with Jason Goes to Manhattan, takes Manhattan. They sell Sean Cunningham and Paramount sell the character. Now, this is something I didn't know. Sells the character of Jason Voorhees to New Line Cinema because the idea was eventually they're going, and as we talked about, I think in part 7's episode, they wanted to eventually have Jason fight Freddy, but it just didn't work out, blah, blah, blah. So Freddy's over in New Line. Bob Shea runs that thing. They sell the character of Jason Voorhees to New Line, but that's all they sell.
Yeah.
Right. So they don't sell any of the incidental characters. You can't get too deep into the backstory or any of that stuff. This guy, Adam Marcus, the director, is 23 years old. He sells a script called, I think it's called My Boyfriend's Back, it was a zombie boyfriend movie. He sells a script to Sean Cunningham and he wants to direct it. My Boyfriend's Back. Sean Cunningham sells it kind of out from under him. And the guy in the interview, if you watch the interview, it's very good, says, hey, like that was his right to do that. But he said to Sean Cunningham, you owe me a movie. Like I was going to make that movie. That was our deal. So Sean Cunningham says to him, do you want to make the next Friday the 13th movie? And he's kind of like, yeah, Paramount kept the character of Roy as a backup.
Yeah, that's what just got me too.
Just in case. So he says, look, you can make this next movie, but there's some caveats to it. What are the caveats? Okay, number one, you are not going to be able to use Jason for very long in the film. You cannot show the hockey mask, right? And if you think about it, in this film, it's not really it's a hockey mask, but they form it so that it's like kind of not, and it's only in a little bit. So he essentially told him, you're going to have to kill him off early, figure out some other like plot line, and you can't really get too deep into any of the lore. His initial screenplay that he had written, the main character if you want to call him a main character in this movie, was Tommy Jarvis. They said you can't use Tommy Jarvis. So Tommy Jarvis was supposed to be the bespectacled,
Steve Freeman or something.
Steve, yeah, that was supposed to be Tommy Jarvis. Yeah. And it was the same storyline. Tommy Jarvis had met this girl, got her pregnant, blah blah blah, and ends up running afoul of Jason again. But they can't do it because Paramount wouldn't let them. Yeah, it is true. The hockey mask is just covering a loaf of hairy bread in this movie. I didn't make one of my usual banners, but so we get into the beginning of this movie. The first thing I want to talk about is in the last couple of episodes, we've had a little segment where I put down like, let's talk about mom's hair. Let's talk about Jason's head in this movie. Right after that.
I don't want to.
Yeah, it's all bulbous.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened to it.
It looks like he stuck his fucking head into a fucking murder hornet nest or something.
Yeah, he's just all bubbles and nastiness, and I'm not sure exactly what happened to him. But
I don't. You know what? The first thing, because all right, and we've talked about this before. How this was my first time ever seeing Jason Goes to Hell. Turns out that's not true. I have seen.
I was very excited for this to be your first time.
First time I've watched it front to back.
But you already knew everything that happened in it.
No, I didn't. There was definitely some shit that I didn't see the first time around. I must have just seen pieces of it and been like, "Fuck this piece of shit," and turned it off.
That is accurate.
Yeah, so I don't remember where I was going with that. With that at all.
But hey, it had a lot of passion.
Oh yeah. What? Nope. Lost it again. Oh, okay. So when I'm watching,
work it out.
When Jason fucking does come into the screen, I said to myself, okay, is his head that bubbly because of the toxic waste from part 8? Because they never described to us how he got from the childlike state in Manhattan back to Crystal Lake, which is apparently 5 minutes from John in Wallingford, Connecticut. Like,
yes, tell him about that.
So they show a sign. The girl's driving down the fucking road, and they show a sign which says Crystal Lake 4 miles, Westport 43 miles. So I did the math because I know where Westport is. It's Connecticut, and 39 miles north of Westport along Route 15 is Wallingford, where John lives. So apparently Crystal Lake is in fucking Wallingford.
Is it inconceivable that New Jersey has a Westport? That doesn't seem like an incredibly rare city name.
But
no.
it was Westport and Fairfield right next to each other, and those are both
very rare town names.
And
I can see how.
They're both right next to each other in Connecticut.
They're both right next to each other.
And the plates were Connecticut as well.
Right.
Oh, fancy. Okay.
Sean Cunningham we talked about a Connecticut guy.
He's from Westport. Yeah.
Adam Marcus, the director, again, 23 years old, the guy who's directing this movie, is also a Connecticut guy. Yep. So another thing, I will give this movie, here's some credit for this movie. They hired Henry Manfredini back. Yes. And at the very least, the music was a nice send back. It's like the music, like especially even the opening credits when they kind of like started the whole thing up. You know, you get that Henry Manfredini music again, which we were definitely lacking in that last one.
Yeah, and it's instant. Like as soon as it hits, you're like, fucking, that's great. Like, you know, that's the classic music after hearing that. Whatever the theme from Arthur in part 8, like, you know, getting back to some actual fucking Jason music was pretty awesome. Even that beginning scene, until you realize it was an odd FBI sting, was a classic Jason scene, and that's what the director said he wanted to do. He wanted to open with a classic Jason scene, killing some campers at Crystal Lake. And you know,
I do have to say, with the note that's up on the screen here, 100% agree. I've noted that in my reviewing all the Jason movies, that anything after Jason 8 is out of continuity. It's Elseworlds Jason. Like all the other stories, you know, from 1 through 8, the timeline makes no sense, and it takes place over 50 years, but it takes place over 5 years, and that doesn't make any sense. But everything's cohesive.
Well,
and then in this movie, it's just like, fucking Jason got out of the sewer somehow. We don't know.
We'll get to it at the end, but according to the director, the timeline does make sense because of Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah. Stu, as someone who has all these conspiracy
he's wildly inaccurate.
As someone who, yeah.
I love that Stu. He's inaccurate about his own film. He has no idea.
With all your conspiracy theories about the different, you know, Jasons and everything.
I think you're gonna love it. I think
you would like watching this. I'm, you know, and it's a feature on the brand new set. I'm sure it's probably on YouTube as well somewhere. You can probably find it. But it's very interesting. Real quick before we get too far back in, let's go back to the studio for a Sammy update from Stu. Stu, what did you find? Did you prefer?
It's good. I'm almost done with the pastrami one.
So now just
pastrami is good as a sandwich. As a sandwich, it's fine. I just don't think just eating a chunk of lunch meat, probably not for me. Like I really like salami, but if you just gave me a chunk of it and was like, eat this.
Is that rye bread?
No, it's from Aldi.
Okay.
Pane Turano. It's really good bread. I really like it. It's at Aldi. It used to be round shaped, and I always told my wife, when you go to the store, get me round bread. But they quit making it round.
Bastard.
What are you gonna do?
Bastards.
They didn't give a shit about your ideas. Now, Eve asked a good question here. Which version did you guys see? I watched the unrated version.
Same.
All right. And
I watched whatever's on my friend's Plex server.
Right. So you probably did not see the unrated version. So I'm kind of curious when we start getting into the kills and stuff, finding out what maybe may have been different.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jason attacks this hot little chica out there in the woods at Camp Crystal Lake. And it turns out it is an FBI sting, and the broiest bros of the FBI blow the shit out of this guy.
Yeah, repelling from the trees.
Mm-hmm. And I love how the fact that they kill the shit out of him, and like they're not clearing weapons or anything. They're just high-fiving. Like they're just walking out in front of each other, like, yeah! Like everybody's just really excited that they killed Jason Voorhees.
But Clayton Duke is in the background, just like,
No.
And then you find out why later.
Well, we sort of find out why from Creighton Duke is one of those characters that and they kind of did mention it in the director's interview, that like there has to be so much on the cutting room floor. Like, what is this guy's deal? Why does he know so much?
Well, the only thing I know about this movie that I looked up is that there was supposed to be a Creighton Duke spinoff.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was supposed to get his own movie after this. Like, he doesn't die at the end. The movie doesn't show that he didn't die, but this director that you keep telling me about, he has confirmed Creighton Duke does survive because there was supposed to be a spinoff that never happened, which Creighton Duke is the highlight of this movie, so I would have watched that.
Yeah, he said. I watched a second. I think it was in the Crystal Lake Memories that I also watched last night. I think it was in that he said there was a lot more story for Creighton Duke that he had. Then they actually did film some of it, but it got fucking cut out. He said either him or another producer said the original cut was 2 hours and 10 minutes long. So,
Yeah,
That's what we all need, the 2-hour Jason.
So obviously they had to cut out a lot of shit, and I'm sure some of the Creighton Duke should hit the floor. But then, yeah, he said what Stu just said, that he wanted to make a fucking Creighton Duke movie. But the studio was like, after the returns of it, the studio was like, fuck out of here. Fucking Creighton Duke movies.
I think Eric has a good idea for the Duke movie. It'd be the Dukes of Hazzard. So yeah, this came out August 13th of 1993. This is the first foray into the 90s. We haven't had a Jason movie in 4 years, so this had to be, and this is one of the only 2 Jason films I've ever seen in the theaters. Now, part of the deal with this whole thing was, as I said, you couldn't use characters from back then. No Tommy Jarvis, none of that stuff. You couldn't use.
But they got the Crystal Lake.
They did, but you couldn't use Friday the 13th in the title either. That's why Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X have Jason in them, and only the final Friday, because the word Friday the 13th could not be used at this point. My price is $500,000,
which is strange. It's like, it sounds like a mistake to me. It sounds like a lawyer fucked up somewhere there, because they probably wanted to sell the whole fucking thing, or New Line wanted to buy the whole thing, and someone fucked up. Because why would you just want to buy the character of Jason? Why wouldn't you want the name Friday the 13th and all the rest of the characters as well?
Well, and sounds
like weird.
I mean, to be fair, though, if you get Jason and you get Crystal Lake, that's really all you need. It's not like, aside from Tommy Jarvis, who hadn't been in the last 2 movies anyway, it's not like they have a huge thing of recurring characters. Not like Ginny and Alice have always come back repeatedly.
True. Good point.
They did, the only time in the movie they actually do show the name Voorhees. It's misspelled.
Yes. Yeah, there's only one. It's right on the screen, right in front of me. Yeah, I was like,
believe that.
That's how you know this is out of continuity. That's how you know Patrick has it right. This movie is inconsistent. It's an Elseworlds. In this reality, Jason's name is spelled with 1 O.
The director is like the coolest, nicest guy in the world.
He can be a great dude and still be wrong.
No,
that's fine.
What I'm saying is the only point
about a movie he wrote.
The only point he gets mad in the interview is when he's like talking about the fans that bring up the 1 O in Voorhees. He's like, I'm not the fucking art director.
He's like, it's not the director's job to look at all the fucking props to make sure things are spelled right. Well, you're filming it. You probably should have caught that. I don't know.
Yeah, there's definitely a good idea that he could have caught that. So this one is interesting. So Jason gets killed in the first 10 minutes of the movie. Not just killed, but blown the fuck up. Literally exploded into a million pieces.
Yep.
So he gets killed, and now, as Larry said, it gets kind of confusing because for some reason we go from what we're assuming, at the very least, Camp Crystal Lake is either in Connecticut or New Jersey. But for some reason, we fly Jason's body parts to Youngstown, Ohio.
Yeah.
We go to Ohio, and we have 2 guards watching the coroner's room. One of them played by Larry cracked me up with this one. Kane Hodder, who plays Jason himself.
Oh, okay.
Who was
unaware.
The burly guy who had, what was it you said? Ice Cube's
NWA hair.
Yeah, he's got that little tuft in the back.
Yeah.
And then of course the coroner is the Don King guy from Rocky 5.
Come on, punk, touch me and I'll sue.
Yeah. So we get this really interesting, I think I'm going to give it a very memorable scene, because I think everybody, if you've seen this movie, remember it, because it's one of the first times out of several times in this movie that something happens where you go, what the fuck just happened? He's essentially got Jason's body parts on the gurney. He's going through them. He's recording, and he's poking around, and he weighs the heart. And then, I guess as you would,
the heart makes him mad because the heart starts beating, and he doesn't like that.
Yeah. The FBI
I took it as it hypnotized him.
Yeah,
that's how I took it, because he was just like, huh? like a
I
like
thought
a
the heart
puppy.
possessed him.
He was kind of like a puppy.
It wasn't this character's idea to be like, this is how I'll stop it.
No, I know that, but it's just still like you don't expect to see someone eat the heart,
No.
and then the heart is filled with all kinds of black stuff.
I don't think you ever expect to see someone eat a heart.
No, he eats the fuck out of that heart.
He goes whole hog on it.
Yeah, he goes in.
It's
He's
not
like, all I had earlier was some corned beef. It tasted terrible. I gotta wash it down with some heart.
Yeah,
man,
some Jason Hart.
I had a head cheese sandwich for lunch that has not left me satisfied. I think I'm gonna have some heart.
I had some chitlins, so I'm gonna wash my chitlins down with some heart.
Chris says that's because Wright-Patterson Air Force Base is in Ohio and is home to the Foreign Materials Lab. Hey, that could be very true. That could be very true.
All
so,
right. So
this
wait,
is how
I wanted to segue into something because
maybe
a year or two ago, I frequent this one comic book forum. And a lot of times people postulate stupid ideas like, how many Michael Myers would it take to take down a Stegosaurus? Could Superman fight Goku? Whatever, stuff like that. And one of the things that somebody postulated one day was Jason Voorhees versus two Kodiak bears. And after a few minutes of arguing whether or not Jason could take two Kodiak bears, it turned into pages upon pages of discussion of if the Kodiak bears ate Jason, would you have Kodiak Bear Jason?
Well,
who's having this conversation again?
Comic book nerds.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's just an unfortunate conversation. Like, I don't even know that needs to be discussed. But I guess based on this movie, if they ate the heart, then there would be a bear Jason.
Well, there was argumentation of there's no proof that if an animal ate it, that it would become Jason. All we know is that it works on humans.
True.
I thought that was a weirdly pedantic argument. I was like, yeah, no.
Well, I mean, the rules are all up there, right? The rules are like, look, let's get right. I mean, we're gonna get.
I don't put anything past this director based on what I watched last night.
Yeah, no, he definitely
except to do anything creative with the premise. We never get like 6-year-old girl Jason. It's just a bunch of different dudes.
It is a bunch of different dudes, but I mean, again, you might say he's not creative, but at what other point have you ever seen the Jason slug go up someone's snatch before? That was amazing. Like that actually shocked me. I've seen this movie before, and when I saw that bit where Aaron Gray's body is on the floor in the basement, and the thing, I go, oh no, it's not, and oh yeah, it did. It did.
You know who else had that reaction? Aaron Gray. I saw an interview with her. And she had no idea until she saw it in the theater. And she said she was angry and she felt violated. Like she was like, she said that her and the director have made up since, but she was not happy because she said if she knew that, she would not have let it happen.
It's a brave choice. It's definitely it's pretty gross. And you know what? Honestly,
it's reminiscent of the tree in Evil Dead. That's what it reminded me of anyway.
Or well, I mean, obviously this is much later, but from last year, the Puppet Master reboot.
Oh yeah,
there's a scene. Holy Christ! There's a scene in that with something very similar that made me go, what?
Yeah.
If you've ever seen it, you know what I'm talking about. If you have not seen it, check it out because that was really fucking good.
It is good.
I like that a lot. Stu, check it out. Puppet Master.
Littlest Reich.
It's written by the same guy that did who wrote Bone Tomahawk and Cell Block 99, and it stars Thomas Lennon, who plays fucking Reno 911. It's a good movie, but there's a gross part in that that's very similar. So, anyways, yeah. And Erin Gray, who was one of the loves of my life as a kid, she was Wilma Deering on Buck Rogers.
Yeah.
She only did this movie because her son apparently was like a special effects guy, and he like, I don't know if he got her on, like, you know, my mom is Erin Gray, but she did it for him. And now they're shoving Jason like slugs up her puss. It's horrifying, but and she has to wear that like old diner, like Italian restaurant outfit the whole time.
Yeah.
So good. So let's talk a little bit now before we get into the idea of this film where Jason's hopping bodies. That's what it's The Hidden, right? It's The Hidden a couple years later. If you've never seen The Hidden, it's a much better version of Jason Goes to Hell. But let's talk a little bit about some of the people in this film, as we always do. So as we mentioned before, we get John D. LeMay, as Patrick said. He was the star of the Friday the 13th television show. which ended in like 1989. So he ends up on this thing.
Who is he?
He was Steve.
Oh, okay.
Our hero. We get Stephen Williams, who plays Creighton Duke, who is probably best known as being the captain on 21 Jump Street. He was on Blues Brothers.
Yes,
I know. He's one of the.
I knew him as Rufus from Supernatural.
He's Rufus on Supernatural, correct? And he was also. I was never a huge fan, but he was Deep Throat on the X-Files TV show, I believe, as well. So he's been around as character actor. Aaron Gray, as we said, Buck Rogers in the 21st Century. Who is the guy? He's so familiar. Who is the little? He's not supposed.
Smarmy TV guy.
No, Smarmy TV guy is another character actor who's done a lot of stuff.
Okay.
I watched a show called The Last Ship. He played the president on the last year of that. Who is the little the husband fry cook who's kind of like
that's
is he the guy they call like
Leslie Jordan,
America's gay uncle or something like that? Is that him?
Yeah.
That was him.
There's a brand new TV show that just debuted this past week with Mayim Bialik called Call Me Kat, and he's in that.
Okay.
He's been in Boston Legal. I remember him being in Boston Legal for several episodes. He was dating Betty White's character, and he kept killing people by accident. He's been in a bunch of things. Been in a bunch. I actually watched New Year's Eve, the countdown show at 11 o'clock this year with Joel McHale and Ken Jeong, and they spent 5 minutes interviewing him. And then I watched Jason, and I was like, shit, I just saw that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I have no clue who the actress is, but the woman who plays his wife, the diner owner.
Yeah.
She's
been in a bunch of stuff too. She was
familiar.
She was in The Perfect Storm. She was the heavyset girlfriend waiting at the bar for.
Was it John C. Reilly?
No, John. The real skinny character. I don't remember the guy's name.
Uncle Leslie Jordan, gay Uncle Leslie.
Rusty. Her name is Rusty. Her real name.
Okay,
she's been in a ton of shit.
So we pretty much eliminate any of the normal teenage characters in this one. As a matter of fact, the only scene that we get in this that has teenage campers getting killed, which I didn't realize until after watching the thing, was tacked on after the movie was filmed. The movie was filmed. He handed in the 2.5 hour version. And the studio said there's got to be a scene with kids getting killed at the campsite. So they went back and refilmed that bit. That whole bit with those three, that whole thing, that there was so much weird sexual energy. I wasn't sure what was going to happen in that scene, not having seen it in a long time, because it's like you got this one couple and they are definitely going to fuck. They're definitely going to fuck. Then you got this other girl, this cute girl who like totally hits on the Steve guy. And no, I know. She's like, she literally is just like, that's it. Let's do this.
She almost took his cock out. Like, I was just like,
and the crazy part was at that point, you didn't know his situation. You think, that he hasn't even seen his girlfriend in like fucking months. So he's just whatever. So he moves on from that. And then they go back and you get the scene where they go to the camp. And like, I'm literally expecting this to turn into Pornhub at any second. Like they go disappear in the tent. Yeah. Then when they disappear in the tent,
don't sleep on the fact that this dude is completely naked. Like, the girl has a shirt on, the other girl has like a flannel over her, but homeboy is standing there completely
balls out. Balls out.
I was just like, holy shit, role reversal.
Yeah,
which is great.
Role reversal.
Good. But I thought he was going to take both of them into the
It seemed like that's the only place that could have gone. But
I'm thinking to myself,
he didn't even try though.
That's what I'm thinking to myself. Why is this guy not trying?
Yeah,
this other girl is obviously like just sad that Steve wanted nothing. She's given herself to Steve, and then he's just like, you know what? Me and my girlfriend are going here. I'm waiting for him to go. Hey, three's not a crowd in my book, and he just goes in there, and then we get treated.
Is it possible the girls are siblings, cousins, something like that? Do we get any confirmation that they're not?
They didn't look like it. They didn't look like it.
It didn't look like it. No.
They didn't look like it. But yeah, they brought back the director of part 5 to film the fucking scenes, as Patrick says, because I honestly look, hey, I'm a guy, I'm a male, sex scenes, obviously, it doesn't bother me. But like this one, I was like, is this fucking shit going to end? It just seemed like it went on for I don't know. Again, I watched the unrated version. Yeah. So tell me if I'm wrong that maybe it's shorter, but it was like a good 4 minutes long of them, like, just like because like there's little bits where like something rustles outside. But yeah, so that scene was all done after.
I don't particularly remember the guy being completely naked. You kept saying that, and I don't recall it, but
you don't see his dick, but he's naked.
Okay.
But he is completely naked. Like,
when they're standing,
your version of that scene might have been a little bit longer. Like I don't.
Maybe
recall
Maybe I was imagining because he was a handsome guy. You know,
I don't recall that scene being memorably long.
Yeah. Well, you had John. Don't skip over the most important part where they threw the condom away.
Well, and that's So in the scene, the girl gets up and leaves to go get a condom. And then comes back with the condom, and
the guy's just like, nah.
The guy's like, I want to raw dog it, and she immediately is just like, I like babies too, or whatever.
She gently tosses it off to the side, but it somehow ends up 20 feet away from their tent out in the grass.
Yes, yeah, or unless that was another one. I noticed that too, but then the director in the director's interview said that was all part of his plan. That that he was equating. How long
did this guy have to just sit around and make shit up that he could be like, yeah, it's totally on purpose the whole time? I don't know.
36 minutes. 36 minutes.
Fucking genius. No, I mean, like, between making this movie and that interview where he just had all this time to make shit up and be like, nah, it totally makes sense. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, he said that he made it so that safe sex or not safe sex equated death, which he felt like was a big thing in the older movies. Eve has a good point. That's kind of it is uncomfortable. Both actors were naked and in real life exes. Yeah,
like recent exes too. Like they had just broken up like a month before.
Wow.
And then they both somehow got the roles, and they were like, "We have to what?" And so
we have to have sex in a Jason movie? Unheard of. I never would have signed on for this.
Why I never
left the trail.
This is brand new information to me.
Oh, please, Eric, don't mention that movie to me. Please, please, please. This movie was a prequel to It Follows. Jesus. Yeah. That movie. Stu, I assume you like that movie. You like that movie?
All right.
God,
I spent the entirety of that movie just arguing the logic of the movie in my head. I just wanted more answers about the universe.
Good parts, but way overhyped.
Super overhyped.
That's how I feel about the Babadook.
I don't know. I'm not going to agree with you on that, but I felt that It Follows had a couple of good scenes, but as a whole movie, I didn't think it succeeded.
That whole ending, or at least one of the endings in that movie, where they're in the pool and they're showing
TV, and the thing's just like chucking toasters at her. Come on, how do you not love that scene? That actually solved a lot of the problems I had when I was thinking about the plot too, because I didn't know whether it had to follow your exact path or not. And then the swimming pool scene verified that it does not. So I was happy for that scene. And then to chuck toasters at her, and I was like, I'm here for this.
Yeah, Eric does beat me on one point. Don't talk to me about that movie. Talk to me about Jason. Yeah, but we know what we're talking about here. We know we definitely wouldn't. Cherry Falls. That's right. The Virgin film. So man, so Jason is now a communicable disease. Yes. Essentially, he's going to move body to body, and as Larry said, you eat the heart once. That's how you get it, and then from this point forward, he is just going to barf himself into your mouth.
Now Patrick and I need our own thing. Like, I need to get a podcast or a YouTube thing with podcasts. I feel like Patrick is a smart man who has opinions that don't dismatch mine as much as you two. It Follows is okay. Babadook overrated.
Is dismatch a word, Stu?
Yes, I just said it, and I have an English degree, so I am the arbiter of these things.
All right, so this is something I want to talk about, and I want to talk about this in all seriousness.
Yes, let's.
Just the second victim of Jason. So we kind of learned through the movie, just from watching, that essentially the bodies dismatches a deli meat in Pittsburgh. Eric. So we essentially learned that the bodies start to break down. So Don King can't hold them for long. He takes one of the deputies, right? The bald, mustachioed deputy, who is apparently about to have sex with someone's wife, right? And that was a weird scene because she's like, he's only gonna be gone for 2 hours, and then like she's about to pick him up, and then Jason like slams Jason body slams her head with a car door really quickly, and we don't see what happens. Then we get back to the house, and now all of a sudden we have this really weird scene where the deputy is like in all these like giant weightlifter belts tied up but naked.
We're going into this.
Jason's like, I'm gonna take your body, but this fucking mustache is a bridge too far.
So again, this is another thing brought up in the interview, but this was the single most puzzling bit in this entire movie. And I actually waited for it to come, like an answer to come from it somehow. So Jason has him tied down. We're gonna just call the killer Jason, right? Has him tied down, has him, strapped up in all these like leather buckles, and guy ain't moving. And then he gets shaving cream, and he slaps it around the guy's face and around his mustache.
He's sharpening.
He's sharpening it on a strap.
On a strap, because it's fucking. He's an 1860 barber.
Yeah. So he's sharpening on a strap, and then he does like a little bit of like nice touch up on the neck.
Yeah.
Nice, just give him a nice line, right? Give him a nice line right there, and you think, oh, he's gonna cut his throat. Then he shaves his mustache off, which I did cringe because he does it in whole fucking slashes.
Yeah.
And if obviously
three swipes.
Any guy out there knows that if you're shaving long hair and you hit like if you hit a spot that you didn't trim down enough, that's enough to fucking put you right out.
Yeah.
He shaves him right down in 3 swipes. Why the fuck did he shave him?
Jason hates mustaches. Jason will not have facial hair.
Well, not to,
Jason
I
didn't
feel like
want a single character in this movie to come up to him and say like, "Hey, I'd like a mustache ride." Jason does not have time for your dick jokes.
No dick jokes.
I feel like we're talking about the director a lot, but what he said was
fucking this director.
Because I knew you'd be talking about it 20 years later.
That's what he said.
He said that was his reason. He did it because he knew you'd be talking about it 20 years later, which is a crazy, crazy reason to put anything into a movie. Because it makes. Listen, I care nothing.
I don't care if a guy is dicking with us or not.
No. Listen, I don't care if a guy shaves another guy in a movie, as long as it fits into the movie. Like, it should fit. There should be a reason behind anything you see in a movie, and that was just inserted in there for no.
I mean, in the sense of, is this something the director actually said, or are you just dicking with us now? It's hard to tell with you.
He said it. He said it.
Oh, he said that? Really? That's terrible.
Yes. He said it, and he also kind of implied that
director is kind of my arch enemy.
He also kind of implied that in 1993, he thought that the audiences would find it more horrifying to see a man kiss another man than to see Jason kill somebody. So I think he was, again, I did like the interview with him. Yeah. I do think that in his head he was trying to push buttons.
Stu needs to see this interview. I'm going to see if I can find it, Stu, and I'll send it to you.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Yeah. You do need to. It's interesting. It really is. The guy's a really interesting guy, but
the actual best thing with the guy is when you pop in the unrated disc, right? It says, what version do you want to, or no, there's 2 discs, pop in the unrated version, play, scenes, all that stuff. You hit play and it says, do you want to see the version with introduction by director Adam Marcus? So a lot of times, if you've ever watched those, it's like a 3-minute thing where they like just say, hey, look, this is where I was in my life. I wrote, he kind of gives a little short synopsis. So I'm like, you know what? That'll be good for the show. I'll watch it. You press play for introduction with Adam Marcus, and all he says is he goes, hi, I'm director Adam Marcus, and I want to thank you for buying this film for probably the 4th different time. Thank you. And that's all he says. And I thought that was fucking hilarious, because literally that's what this guy probably is looking for all the time, is like new versions to come out. But yeah, his intro is fucking hilarious.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. We did skip over something, John, that I'm surprised you didn't mention. Creighton Dukes, when he's telling them that it'll cost $500,000 for him to catch Jason, and he basically steals the whole Quint line. Like, yep. for that you get the machete, the mask, the whole damn thing, or whatever. Like,
yeah. Well, this director references Jaws a lot in this interview. Patrick mentioned it earlier. but he obviously is trying to make this movie a part of like some kind of like cinematic universe that doesn't exist. Because what was the thing in the basement, right? The creep show.
Well, it was the crate from Creepshow.
Okay.
But it also referenced.
I missed that reference. Like,
it was the crate from Creepshow because it had the university, but on top of that, spray painted said like fucking Arctic Expedition or whatever.
I saw that. Okay, yeah, I did see that. I was thinking, is that a reference to the thing?
It was like Joan Carpenter, Arctic Expedition. So he's referencing the thing and Stephen King's The Crate. And then later reference we'll talk about later.
Well, let's get right into that.
Should we just go? Should we just
let's just go right there because we're already on the line. I've seen this movie probably 2 times in my life. I saw it in the theaters. And I probably saw it 10 years ago, 20 years ago. So this is the 3rd time. How do I not remember the fucking Necronomicon being in this fucking movie from Evil Dead? Like,
I had forgotten it was in it, but when it came on screen, I was like, oh yeah, I remember thinking that was funny when I was a kid.
Yeah, well, he's got and here's the part though, Stu, is he's got not only a whole backstory behind his thought process on that, was he essentially
John, you're going to fucking make Stu's head explode.
I know.
If you give him this information right now, we're probably going to lose him for the rest of the episode. He's going to pop, and pastrami and corned beef is just going to come flying out of his head.
So he essentially said to himself, "Look, I'm going to make this like without saying it that Jason is a Deadite, and that because now all of a sudden we have a Voorhees house. Did we ever have a Voorhees house before? No. So
we certainly didn't have a Voorhees knife
or Voorhees sister,
right? Or sister, right? So we're kind of getting into Halloween territory here. But he essentially says, "Oh, Owen." So he essentially says, Stu, that he is, "What's up, Owen? Everybody say hello to Owen."
John's waving, but you can't tell because he's frozen.
Am I frozen again?
You just started moving. And
my lord.
Yeah.
My lord. Let me unplug this. I might freeze. You guys might freeze. Hold on. Let's unplug that. Whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Now you're moving. You're choppy, but you're moving.
I'm choppy. Wonderful. So Eve says he was a young one-time director. This is why he has everything but the kitchen sink in this film. He does say that. All right. Let's get our Owens up here. Owen. Owen. Yeah, so the Necronomicon is in this thing.
The Necronomicon Ex Mortis.
So he basically says that he thinks that that Mrs. Voorhees would have used that if she had the ability to get a hold of it to make to bring Jason back. And this I won't get into all of that stuff because there's a lot there. But what I think was cool about it was that he met Sam Raimi, and he got invited because he knew people that knew Sam Raimi through the movie industry to go to the set of Army of Darkness, which was in California. The castle set was in California. He meets Sam Raimi, and he tells him, "I'm directing the new Friday the 13th movie. Never met him before," and says, "I would love if there would be a possibility that you could get me like a copy of the Necronomicon to put in the movie as like an Easter egg." And he said that he expected them to either give them like some third-rate like copy or to like set it up where he's like, I'll have the studio drop it off with you, because he says when he got the Freddy glove from New Line, it came in like a locked case with a guard, that it was opened, filmed, brought back to the guard, put back in the case. Like, the guy never left it alone.
Excellent. It's like the Stanley Cup.
Sam Raimi literally took the hero Necronomicon, the one they used for filming, put it in a Ziploc bag and handed it to him and said, "Just get it back to me when you're done." Like, it's just fucking crazy. Because I mean, again, not at the time, Evil Dead 2 and 3, Army of Darkness, not huge movies, but still, he's just handing out his biggest prop that he has to use for this guy. So that is the actual Necronomicon.
He might as well have gone all in at that point and been like, "Hey, I need a chainsaw too."
I think he would have if he could have.
He would have.
I really do. But so I'm sorry, Owen did distract me. So did you explain to him what the director said, that this fixes the whole timeline, making Jason a Deadite? Making Jason a Deadite means that you can now explain why he went from being a little boy in a lake to a full-grown adult to all these different, to the whole timeline mess, because he's a Deadite and they can do whatever they want.
What do you got there?
That's the thing I texted you last week. It's the Jason timeline I figured out.
Yes.
What year everything happens in.
Yeah, but now it doesn't matter because Jason's
this movie doesn't count.
Jason's an
This
evil
movie's
dead.
not canon.
Jason
has come out and said
Pamela
this was not in the original Jason Bible.
Pamela was so
the red smoke.
upset. Pamela was so upset with the death of her son that she got the Necronomicon and went to a different page than Ash did and resurrected her son as a Deadite. That's what this guy said.
In a what if universe.
And he said, that's funny that you said that, because his exact words were, people come up to me and said, well, this can't be canon. And he says, look, motherfucker, I wrote it. It's part of the series, so it is canon.
Nope. Don't accept it.
I can't argue with it.
You have to accept it, Stu.
I don't have to do any such thing. You also tell me Ginny isn't pregnant, but goddamn it, she is.
Oh,
Ginny's pregnant. This director's wrong.
Continue on.
Jasons.
I will be right back. Continue on.
Oh no, our host is leaving. Shit, we got to ad-lib this on our own. That's terrible.
Should I grab my guitar, sing a song?
My sandwich. No.
Are you gonna leave it? Shut your camera off and just leave me alone to fucking sit out here and vamp by myself.
Wait, let's see what's on his spinner rack back there. I see a Thor.
Yep.
I think the third one from the top is Spectacular Spider-Man.
There must be a Dazzler in there somewhere. Right? I see some Connecticut Cult Classics swag, which is good.
Ooh,
I see the cup from our Maximum Overdrive. I see what I think is the Reanimator beer koozie. Yeah, it's got some good stuff.
All right, so wait. More about, You know what really is upsetting in this movie is we didn't talk about it. The scene where those kids are at Camp Crystal Lake, the shoehorned in scene. And you have the girl, the one who doesn't become part of the threesome. She's walking around and Jason is about to come out and get her. But it's still like this weird shock when the camera pans and it's not Jason, it's the evil coroner guy. And it's for a second you kind of laugh because it's just like, oh, that's not as scary as it's supposed to be.
Like that. What is that? Is that your birth control? What is that? I'm not sure.
That's for Stu.
What?
Can you see what that is?
No. Is it
the Fight Club
soap?
Oh,
Fight Club soap. Okay. I couldn't see the letters. I just kind of thought that might be what it was.
Yep, and then we got I heard you guys.
Yay.
All right, well, what is that? Well, here, solve this for me then. On your spinner rack behind you, is the third comic book down Spectacular Spider-Man?
Yeah, Hobgoblin tearing the costume in half.
Where's Dazzler? There's no Dazzler.
I don't have Dazzler. No Dazzler here.
That's unfortunate.
I guess
Dazzler is only for the watch parties.
No Dazzler.
I guess. So yeah, basically Jason's a Deadite. He's part of the Evil Dead universe. And it's all solved. That's it.
Oh.
It's over, Stu. You don't have to worry about it anymore.
Done deal, pal.
I'm going to write a dissertation about where this is wrong. I'm going to get my doctorate on it. I'm going to become a doctor of Jasonomics.
Robert Stewart, Doctor of Voorhees.
with two O's, not one. Always.
Yeah.
Holly says, remember when there was Connecticut Cult Classic swag? I do remember.
Do you remember when there's Connecticut Cult Classics?
I do. I do. The good old days.
I mean, to be fair, I don't. So
you don't. But you're still in the watch party, so you're part of Connecticut Cult Classics.
Yeah, and Stu, in all honesty, it's only like a 42-hour ride. The next time, when
42-hour.
I don't know if this is spelled right, but when Larry does have his next show, you should just come out.
John has his own alternate reality where Voorhees is misspelled also.
Yeah, where there's an I in it.
There is an I.
No, there's two E's.
Two E's?
Okay.
E's. Yeah. All right. Well, let's devolve real quick, and we'll also go.
It's like you've never watched these movies at all. You're one ugly motherfucker. Connecticut Cult Classics.
And
that was one of the best shows ever.
And no, it wasn't,
because we showed Lady Terminator at that one. Oh,
the Lady Terminator. I don't know what that is.
Narragansett.
It's a crushed can of Narragansett. When a couple years ago they went back to the can style from Jaws. This is the beer that
okay.
Quint drinks constantly.
Yeah, I still like Dreyfus's styrofoam cup better.
Yeah.
All right, so
this whole episode is a mess.
Well, I mean,
it started with 10 minutes of me fucking eating sandwiches.
Well, you know,
and John left.
We're all. I left for a minute.
Okay, hold on. We didn't. There's another thing we didn't talk about.
Larry and I were very scared when you were gone because we didn't know how to do the show without you.
I thought Stu was going to shut off his camera, and I was going to have to vamp like while you guys were fucking on. Like I was gonna get my guitar and maybe sing a fucking song. I wasn't sure what to do. All right, I know we're jumping everywhere.
Yeah.
It's hard not to, but we really need to talk about Steven and Creighton in the jail.
Yeah. Why?
Okay.
Why did Creighton want broken fingers?
I don't understand.
He's like, oh, that information's expensive. And then he breaks his fingers to give it to him. And it's like, well, you're not getting anything out of that. That's not how expensive works. I don't think you understand currency.
Well, not just to mention the whole thing is really with the Creighton Duke character is like what is he all about really in the end? Like he has a boner to kill Jason. He wants to get Jason really bad.
His wife or girlfriend. I forget which.
And I did read that he killed his wife or girlfriend, so he's after him. But then you get to the whole bit where, you know, like he's so desperate to stop Jason, and he knows the secret is that the only way Jason can be reborn is through a Voorhees woman, and the only way he could die is from a Voorhees hand. But then that whole bit where you get into the moment where, like you said, he starts breaking the fingers. Yeah. What does he have against Steven? What the fuck did Steven do?
Makes no sense. I'm sure the director explained how that ties into Jason Part 4 because somebody had a broken finger at some point. So it all makes sense. It's all tied in.
He was tying that into the Halloween universe.
Yeah, I honestly don't know.
The director knows. He knows what's happening, why there are broken fingers.
I don't think he ever actually did say like what the broken fingers thing was about, but he does say that, and this wasn't something he made up, but he does say that Jason Goes to Hell is considered, much like Nightmare on Elm Street 2, to be a gay horror classic. And
well, it does have Leslie Jordan.
Leslie Jordan, and when they do during his interview, when they do go back and show the scene before he breaks his fingers, he's like caressing his hands.
Oh yeah, he's like.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Although I don't really know if there's a lot more in it that I could pick up off of this one watch. And by one watch, I mean one watch, because I don't know.
Getting uncomfortable yet?
It'd be more uncomfortable if it was you and Stu doing it. That's for sure.
True. Hold on. reach in, Stu. Okay.
Larry, I do have a quick question. I don't want to get back to the too much to the cult classic stuff, but I do want to. I found this and I can't remember what the hell this is for.
Okay.
Why do I have a bag of beach sand that says government property? Is this from you?
Yeah, it was from Jaws.
This is Jaws. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was Jaws or something else. Okay,
no, that's
all right.
Jaws. Yeah.
All right.
That's actual sand from the beach that they filmed on.
Oh, beautiful! I didn't even know that. That's
awesome.
That, huh? Yeah, this movie. I'm
trying to see if I can quickly find something on the broken fingers. I'm not getting anything. Control F. Fingers. Nothing.
Why does Creighton Duke?
He broke those fingers because I knew you would still be confused while discussing on a podcast on January 5th, 2021. Direct quote. Amazing.
Yeah, from 1995. So he was really projecting.
He was. I don't know, man. Like, so I guess let's kind of talk a little bit about, you know, even though we still have some of the movie to go, like, is any of this working for you? Like this movie, this whole, like,
it's like this episode, this series of us talking. No. I thought you were done. Is this working for you? Are we just done?
Well, unfortunately,
did we peak last episode when we talked about pastrami? It's all downhill now.
I think we're doing okay. But what I mean is does any of this movie work for you guys?
No,
because here's the thing. it's not a slasher anymore.
Nope.
We're not dealing with Jason. We've delved into the supernatural with the telekinetic girl and all that stuff already, but here we are with supernatural shit. And now we're also moving into like
action territory.
It's like, and I hate to say it because I thought it, and then the director did say it in the interview.
Oh Jesus!
This movie, there's a 20-minute sequence of this movie where it becomes Terminator 2.
Like it's all slow motion and people shooting shotguns.
Why was the girl at the diner, the cute little redhead? Why was she so proficient with every weapon that like landed in her hands?
Like she grabs that big pole and goes.
She fucking puts the pole through him, and then she gets the shotgun out, and literally, as she pulls the shotgun out and she starts blasting the Robert guy, I felt like we were watching a really shitty version of the hallway scene in Terminator 2, where where Schwarzenegger's popping, the T-1000. What, Larry? Yes, Larry in the first aisle. What do you have?
Hold on. Should I stand up? No, all right.
Yeah.
So apparently, the director has said in the past that Duke breaks Steven's fingers to test his conviction, to make sure that he is convicted, that he really wants this information and to use this information.
That's almost fair for the second time he does it, but the first time Steven doesn't know what's coming, so you're not testing anything there. You're just surprise attacking him. If you tell him I'm going to break your fingers for this information, then that makes sense. And it makes sense on the second time. But then on the third time, he's just like, I'll just tell you, fuck it.
Patrick says, the writer and director did not have the skill to pull this off. It's a mostly inept and boring film. I guess if you live near Crystal Lake, you'd be inept with weapons too. I guess that's true. Something else that was mentioned in that interview that really surprised me is that this apparently, except for Jason X, has the most amount of kills. It certainly does not feel like it, but I guess there's a lot more incidental deaths in this one, maybe like that.
Well, he killed, a bunch of cops, the whole diner full of employees. So I can see that.
Yeah, it's less nuanced. There's not really any good, like stabbing moments or really like anything like that. It's mostly like that one scene in the diner is almost like an action movie where people are getting taken out left and right.
Yeah.
Gay uncle gets his face boiled in the French fry oil, and we also learn a very good tip from Joey B, who owns the diner. If you're gonna have a 2-for-1 hamburger special, here's how you make the second hamburger. You cut eyes and little dots out to make it look like a hockey mask, and then you use the other meat to make another patty, which if you look at the holes of the dots, makes no fucking sense whatsoever.
The second burger would be this big.
The second burger, it's like buy one burger and get a McBurger nugget. That's what you would get.
Nobody ever said the owner of that diner was good at physics.
Yeah, no. I wish they had done this more like the movie Fallen. Yeah, Fallen was pretty good. That was Denzel Washington and John Goodman.
Oh, okay, yeah. I saw Fallen and my brain kept thinking Falling Down, and I was like, no, it's not that.
Which would be fantastic.
I would like to see that too. I'd like to see Jason kill a McDonald's manager over breakfast times.
Yeah. He's at the whammy burger, fucking shooting the place up. Why not?
So yeah, we learned that the central idea behind this is that the Aaron Gray character is the sister. Again, we're diving into Halloween territory of Jason Voorhees. Yep. Jason can only be reborn through a Voorhees woman. So she ends up dying. Jason ends up killing her eventually.
Does it have to be a woman? Because I know Steven says later on, you said it could only be through a Voorhees woman, but I thought Creighton Dude just said it just had to be a Voorhees.
No, Voorhees woman.
Okay.
But he says, does it have to be a living woman?
Well, yeah, but I thought the time whenever he said, I thought that was the first time it came up that it was a woman. I thought when Creighton Duke had explained it way earlier, he just said it had to be a Voorhees, but I may not have paid attention.
Born from a Voorhees woman, killed by a Voorhees, I think it was. Like any Voorhees.
Sure.
So yeah, you got 2 Voorhees women now that are a possibility. You got the daughter who is in her 20s, and you got the baby. And then you also have so we have a mythology. We're introducing 9 movies in now where this can happen.
Let me just tell you, fuck that baby. Because if you watch Crystal Lake Memories, There was an interview with the girl who played that baby, and she goes, "I was 6 months old, and I don't remember some stuff." I'm like, hold the fuck on.
Yeah, no.
Hold the fuck on.
What do you remember? 6 months old.
I was just like, I just hit fast forward immediately until her fucking dumb face was off my television. I was like, fuck you. You're claiming you remember shooting this film at 6 months old. Get the fuck out of here.
You lying bitch.
Yeah. Sorry. Sidebar. Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Sidebar, Your Honor. Let's talk about babies.
Jason Goes to Hell should be considered the most needed of any sidebar for any of these films. Stu, the other day, now this is obviously going to play hands out a little bit, but I'm fine with that. Stu texted me the other day.
I've been so subtle about this so far.
He texted me the other day and said, "I've got to apologize to you for now on the way I treated you about Part 5 after watching this movie." And I appreciate that because Part 5 is fucking great. 4-star.
No. I didn't say I needed to apologize for you. I said I need to apologize to Jason Part 5 for the things that I said about it.
Yeah. So this just it's I don't know, man. I felt like I was watching like 6 different movies. Terminator 2, The Hidden. Maybe he had a side mistress. Oh, this was not the director saying this, but this was what I read. I think we had talked about it in Part 6, that initially in Part 6 there was going to be a side plot where Jason's father, Elias Voorhees, was going to show up. That was a plan at one point. Didn't happen. One of the original ideas for this movie was that Elias Voorhees was going to be his brother that no one ever knew about. And he was going to eat Jason's heart and become Jason. So instead of it being like a body switching movie, it would be like the brother eats Jason's heart and like Jason takes over his body only, but he looks like Jason in the whole 9 yards. Again, they skipped out on that too. I don't know if that would have been better.
I don't know. I don't know.
All I know is that after watching this and not having seen this one in a long time, I'm getting more and more nervous about rewatching the space one.
No, you know what? I think you could be right. It's been a long time since I've seen the space one, but I think the space one is a lot more self-aware. Like this movie has moments where it's trying to be, but it's also for 90% of it, it's trying to be a horror movie. I think the space one is just, the whole thing is taking the piss, if I recall correctly.
I hope so, because this was a rough hour and a half. I don't know how you guys felt. Like overall.
I have a thing, which I'm sure a lot of people do.
I have some things.
If I can't, I got a couple two tree.
Got another thing.
If I'm like not into a movie, like I'll do a lot of pausing and then on my phone pause, go upstairs.
Yeah.
Like this movie probably took me a good 6 hours, like to get through with all the fucking pausing. I was much more dialed into the fucking director's interview than I was to the movie.
I agree. I do agree. As much as we joke about it, it definitely raises my not opinion of this movie, but it raised my enjoyment a little bit of the movie, just based on the fact that this guy did seem like he was that he had some real ideas and that he was just trying to. Patrick mentioned it a little bit ago. You know, by the time Takes Manhattan comes out, this is a dead franchise.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not his fault necessarily that this isn't another slasher.
And it's a dead franchise because it's also I hate to ever say there's a dead time for horror, but the early 90s were not good.
Yeah.
It was not a big time for horror. So you've got a franchise that, you know, is definitely has been on a downslope for a fucking decade. And well, not a decade, but 6-7 years been on a fucking downslope. Coupled with the fact that it's just not a great time for horror in general.
I had to watch it twice because John fell asleep.
Yeah.
Poor Lindsay.
Yeah.
Throwing you under the bus.
No, it's true. This is the first one I fell asleep in since 6. 6 was a fucking tough watch. 6 was tough. Like I think that took me like 3 times to get through. Stu, I hated that fucking movie.
I watched 6 3 times in total. Just in that week, I watched it 3 times. I love it.
Are you watching 9 right now as we're talking?
Yeah, Jason just got the knife through the heart. Little orange balls are spitting out of him.
That's great.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about that. What were the orange balls?
Why are there orange balls? Why is it that after he gets stabbed and Steven is punching him in the face, his face is making orange balls? I don't know. Is Jason full of cheese puffs? I don't understand.
Cheesy poofs.
Man.
Oh,
And then, and then we have the light down from heaven, and the monsters from the movie Ghost come out and pull Jason down.
Yeah.
like the shadows.
Except they're the rock monster from the Never-Ending Story. Big, strong hands.
Strong hands.
All right. I want to talk about something real quick here, and I think we'll move out of Jason for a few minutes, get back to it, because I don't think that's hurting anybody's feelings. Yes, that is Stu, Dr. Stewart, PhD. Let's talk real quick about, because I think this is pretty damn cool. See if I can get that here. Talk about Larry's screenplay.
Oh.
All right. Larry, why don't you tell everybody what you've been like, what's been going on? Like, Larry wrote a screenplay and stuff's been happening.
Well, I wrote a screenplay and submitted it to a few film festivals, and I think like a half dozen, and I've heard back from 3 of them, and it's won awards in all 3 so far.
Nice.
Which is pretty. It's a short screenplay. It's very short, 10 pages.
Many pages. Oh, 10.
10. Yep. But something that easily can be stretched out into a feature film. I've never really. I mean, I've got a few other ones that I've been working on, but this is the first one that I actually really made it all the way through to look like an actual screenplay. So pretty psyched about it. It's not the awards so much that is awesome, but like these festivals send like tons of feedback along with it, and that's what I was looking for, because I've never, obviously professionally, I think I could have written a better movie than Jason Goes to Hell without any type of training or anything like that. But like my reason for submitting it was to really get that feedback. And they've given me some excellent feedback, which has led to a few edits and stuff like that. Learning, basically just learning how to really do it and how to put it all together. It's been cool.
Larry let me read it probably, I don't know, a month or 2 ago, and it was very good. I don't just say that because he's a friend. It was very good. It was scary. That's what I liked about it, was on the Friday the 13th, the buttering. Yes.
I'm working on it, Holly. I'm working on it. The buttering.
It was very interesting. No, it's what was the name of it? Again, Larry, it was
Summoning Demons.
Summoning Demons, yeah. It's got a claustrophobic feel to it, and there's some very cool on the page word that translates to imagery very well, which is important for a horror thing. So I really dug that. So I just wanted to bring that up and say congratulations to Larry. That's very cool, and hopefully we'll be seeing something coming out of you pretty soon, and hopefully it's not Jason coming out of your fucking
Jason Lizard.
But before we get back into to Friday the 13th, there's one other thing I did want to bring up. So this week, at the end of the week, the Manster, myself, Larry, and Shawnee Mack from Horror News Network are going to be recording the last episode of what we're calling season 1 of Scary Larry's Pint of Horrors. If you've been listening to the Pint of Comics, you know that we've done, this will be the 10th episode. So the idea was Larry came up with 20 films, and we would roll dice, and we've been doing this for about a little over a year. The first episode, which was Day of the Dead, came out in December of 19, and then we did Maniac. Maniac, by the way, was the most downloaded episode of Pint of Comics for the year. We did Prom Night, we did Motel Hell, we did Brain Dead / Dead Alive, we did The Wicker Man, we did The Funhouse, and then with Stu we did Wreck, the 2007 Spanish film, and then we did The Stuff. Well, we're recording this week the last episode of season 1, which is Poltergeist. So that will be, and I'm probably putting that out next week. So that's going to finish off what we're calling season 1. And so I just told Larry, I said, instead of like continuing with this list, and let's do a new list. And Lloyd came up with an idea to do a list from, what was it, 2000 to 2020?
2001 to 2020.
2001, 2020. A film from every one of those years in those slots. We're going to do them the same way, where we're going to roll 4 dice to get 4 finalist movies, And the way I figure we'll do it is we're going to then put them up for a vote instead of replacing, like if 2006 gets used, gone, we're never replacing 2006. And we'll either do 10 of these, we'll do whatever we want to do, but that's going to be season 2. So I haven't even heard this list yet. Larry sent me the file earlier and it would not open on my phone, so I didn't get a chance to look at it. So Larry is going to read off the 20 movies that are going to start off season 2 that we will be rolling dice on this weekend and then putting out for a vote. So what do we got? 2001 through 2020.
So 2001, Frailty, which if you've never seen is an awesome movie. I saw it by mistake. I just stumbled into a theater and ended up seeing it. It was just like, fuck. Anytime I see Powers Booth in a movie, I'm fucking psyched.
I was gonna say you heard Maddie Mack coming out of the speakers and you were like, I'm gonna go check this out.
Exactly.
Hey.
2002, May, which is an awesome movie. 2003, High Tension, fucked up French movie. 2004, Three Extremes, which is an Asian anthology film. 2005, Wolf Creek, fucked up Australian film. Yeah, that's that's fucked up. 2006, Hatchet. Little love for Adam Green. Go to the original Hatchet. 2007, Teeth. 2008, Splinter.
Is Teeth the one with the girl with the vagina teeth?
Yep, it is.
Oh, all right. I've been avoiding that for years. I'm kind of excited now.
Yeah, I tried to pick ones that would be fun to talk about.
Yeah,
like I did the list like a few weeks ago whenever you brought it up, and I threw basically like the scariest shit I could think of, and then I was like, well, let's make it fun instead of scary. So, but there's still definitely some scary stuff in here. Then 2009, Dead Snow, which is the Nazi zombies. Yep.
Yeah.
2010, I Saw the Devil, which is one of the most fucked up movies. 2011, Rubber, about the tire that kills people.
The tire one.
Yeah. That's always a classic. 2012, Excision, which was I think my favorite movie.
Oh, you didn't keep Cabin in the Woods?
No, I got rid of it. Excision's more fun.
Yeah, we got rid of everything from the last list.
Okay.
2013, Would You Rather, with Jeffrey Combs. 2014, Tusk, which I fucking love. Some people hate. Yeah, a lot of people hate. That's that's a real. It's a love it or hate it. Like there's no middle ground on that. People are really either fucking anti or for it, and I was for it. 2015, Deathgasm, which is fun, black metal, Swedish horror comedy. 2016, Don't Kill It, which is another fun one with Dolph Lundgren, because he's always a good time, right?
Nice. I love Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah.
Who doesn't? 2017, The Lure, which is an awesome Polish movie based in the 80s about a couple of mermaids. Fucking fantastic.
All right.
Yep. 2018, Mom and Dad, with Nick Cage and what's the girl's name? Selma Blair.
Selma Blair. I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yep. 2019, One Cut of the Dead.
Oh yeah.
And this year, I stuck with a scary one, which I really, really love the premise. The Call. It's Korean. I think it's a Korean film. Tusk is fun. Did that kill Justin Long's career? It might have.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we will record Poltergeist. We will roll the dice, and then next week we'll put Poltergeist out and have the vote out there. And Stu, you are welcome to come on and do those with us. Here and there, we'll get some people in on those. Those are always fun. Yeah, I'm excited. Now, real quick, I think 02, you said May. Is that the one about the really awkward girl?
Yep.
And and the doll, right? There's like a doll.
Yep.
I saw that years ago. I look forward. That's a fucked movie.
Yeah,
I look forward to seeing that again.
Yep.
All right. And let's see. We've got some suggestions too. 2018, The Boys in the Trees, underappreciated Australian movie, fringe horror. Larry, have you ever seen that? No. So Larry's gonna put it in his. Larry, make sure to lick your finger. All right, so that we just wanted to get some of that stuff out there. Let's dive back into Jason World, because that's where everybody wants to be.
We have to keep taking breaks from this movie.
Well, unfortunately, I feel like we have to. So yeah, we get to the end of this movie, and
Jason's full of cheese balls.
Things happen.
Things happen.
Things happen.
We end up at the house.
There's a knife, which is a perfectly normal knife until the girl touches it, and then it turns into a somewhat less normal knife.
Yeah, very
a dagger. Yeah, some kind of mystical, magical dagger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This movie is just like, again, this was one. I've watched a lot of movies over the last couple of years for the podcast and for these, and this was one of those ones that I was like, I could be doing other things right now, but that's okay. That's all right. I honestly will say I applaud the change in direction. I applaud the idea of let's try to do something different with this franchise. It's not working out anymore. I just don't applaud the execution. It's not a
final product.
It's not a scary movie.
Yeah.
It's not super gory.
Even as bad as the Jasons had been getting, where they weren't scary anymore. They were just, there was some gore, but you were watching them for the fun of watching Jason do things. This one is the least of them.
Yeah, because you don't get Jason doing things.
Yeah.
The director said, I don't think kids want to see Jason killing people in the woods anymore.
Right.
So I'm making this intentional choice to not do that in this movie, which is why he had to add that other part later, because he had no fucking kid. And apparently he was dead wrong, because people did want to see Jason killing people.
And when did this movie come out? 93?
93. I had just graduated high school.
The first time I saw this was on VHS. I did not see this in theaters. So I was probably 12, 13, whatever. And boy, I was so furious at this movie that Jason's not in it. Yeah. I hated this movie for that. Now, granted, I hadn't seen like 10 years worth of Jasons at this point. I was only 13. I had really only seen from like 5 onward. So I wasn't entirely sick of Jason. Man, I remember seeing this movie and being furious about it. And for as much as I hate this movie about how it ignores all the continuity of what came before it, I loved Jason 10 or Jason X for ignoring the fuck out of this movie.
Wow.
I was like, you teach Jason Goes to Hell Who's Boss.
Well, you can't really be mad at any of these movies ignoring continuity, because let's be honest. The last time we saw Jason before this movie, he was TMNT'd into a little kid.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's what I mean. And then this movie was just like, fuck it.
Yeah, totally fuck it. And here's another, this is something I was thinking about when I watched it, and I'm glad that you kind of said that. How is it that in the first like 9 or 8 movies, Jason is murdering all these fucking people left and right, and at no point does he ever become more of a myth or like something to be like, whispered around the kids, when someone would bring up Jason, no, Jason's dead. That wasn't real. But now we get into this movie and the feds are involved all of a sudden. Like, when did we cross the line from he's not real or he's dead to like, we need to get the fucking SWAT team in here? When did that happen?
Here's what we need to do. Larry's a screenwriter. I have a degree in writing. John, you're smarter than both of us. We need to come up with, between the 3 of us, we need to write Friday the 13th 8.5, because there's a fucking movie that happened in between 8 and 9.
Like how he got home?
Yeah, like how he became Jason again, how he became nefarious, how the FBI's after him. We need to make this movie.
There actually is, and this is funny that you mentioned.
Oh shit, really? Is there something? Did I make a thing?
You did make a thing. I guess I was reading on Wikipedia today that there was a novelization for maybe 8, and I guess if I remember what I read correctly, the novelization goes further into before this movie. So I guess there is some story set up. And then there was a Topps 3-issue comic series based on this movie that I guess is based more on the 2.5 hour fucking original cut that he had. But like the good thing that the director actually did say was he said that he handed in this 2 hour, 10-minute cut, and he's like, it was boring as fuck. It was terrible. He's like, whether you like or dislike
this movie that was a thrill a minute.
Yeah, well, imagine 2 hours and 10 minutes of this shit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he caused too much ruckus in New York. That was the final step. Was nobody gives a fuck what he does in like sleepy New Jersey, right. But when you step into Manhattan, son, you fuck things up. That's it. We're sending the
when you go to old Scuzzbucket Times Square.
Yeah.
When you're in New York for 10 minutes.
10 total minutes, and it's actually Montreal. Well, no, that's right. It was New York for a little bit. Just Times
Square, right? Yeah, just Times
Square. Yeah. Yeah. Let's get into it while things are still fresh here.
Can we get out of it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Let's get into the end of this. Let's jump into all of our commenters. We didn't really talk much about it because there's not a whole lot, but if any of you guys have a favorite kill from this film, as we always do,
I have a clear one.
It's like favorite kill time, kids. New Jersey never gets any respect. Patrick, are you from New Jersey? Is that where you're? I think Patrick's a New Jersey guy. Yeah. So anybody out there has anything, but we'll go right to Larry. Larry, I think your kill and my kill are probably going to be the same, and I'm curious if Stu saw our kill.
Oh, yeah, that's a good.
Oh, that's curious. Okay, yeah.
So I'm assuming I know, but Larry, what do you got?
It's the tent. It's the tent scene.
Me too.
It's maybe it's top 2, top 3 best kills in the whole series. And it may be the very best one. I don't.
What happens in the tent? I just remember him like slashing people. I don't remember it being memorable.
He stabs a sign. It was a signpost.
Yeah,
I think a signpost.
Okay.
Into the middle of her chest, and then rips it up, and her body.
Oh,
falls.
yeah. Okay, yeah, that happens.
Okay,
that happens
her body like slides into 2 glorious pieces, like very glorious.
And you get a lot of fucking blood.
A lot of it's shooting.
Yeah,
she's just exploding blood everywhere. So yeah, I agree. The girl is riding the guy, and he's all into it, and they're not wearing a condom, so it feels extra good. And and then Jason's like, "Fuck this shit! If I can't have fun, you can't have fun." Takes the signpost.
Wait! Not Jason, but the coroner.
Evil coroner.
The coroner. Yeah, yeah.
Because this director was so right. That's what we wanted to see. Fucking director.
Yeah.
So Stu, what was your favorite kill?
No, that was a really good one. For some reason, I didn't think of it. Good. Ignoring that, I'm gonna go off the board and say whenever the feds napalm Jason. That's awesome. Like you just didn't see it coming the first time you watched this movie. It's so out of the blue the first time, and then it really is the most memorable part of this movie is they fucking napalm Jason. So yeah, that. I know that's not a Jason kill, but I think that was the best one in the movie.
It could still count. And I honestly, if I had to go with a second for me, the scene where the shaved cop decomposes was actually pretty damn good.
Dude, it's KNB effects, man. It's fucking
right.
It's Craig Nicotero and his boys. Like they're no slouches. They're the best in the industry. Right.
He looks like a giant fucking. I don't know, like he's stuck to the floor and all the goo's coming off.
I thought that stays on the floor.
Yeah,
it was pretty gross. Yeah.
The other one I love though was Rusty, the heavy set girl at the fucking diner. He gets the fucking it's all sunken in.
Yeah,
I thought that was good. I thought it was fun.
Trying to think of anything else. Oh, does he the cute redhead girl that was weapons proficient, did he squeeze her head?
No, she impaled him and he like pulled her onto the spike.
Who does he squeeze her head?
He did squeeze a head.
Yeah, he squeezes the head.
It fountained.
Oh.
Yeah, this was definitely gorier than the past few have been. But that didn't save it.
Yeah, we did watch the unrated cut though, so who knows what they actually showed. Right. All right, Stu, why don't you grab out your little calculator of
the unrated one? I don't know.
You might have. Let's see. Let's rate this thing. This thing.
I have the scores.
All right.
Why don't we go again? We haven't done full scores. Why don't you just quickly run through all 8 movies where we're at right now?
All right. So I'm going to go, instead of like, here's what we all did on part 1, I'll give all of ours for each movie. So it's for me, I've given part 1 2.75, part 2 4.5, part 3 2.5, part 4 1.5, part 5 1.75, part 6 4.25, 4.25, 4.5. It's in there. It's great. It's great.
Better than Alien, right? You dickhead.
Better than Alien. I would watch Jason Lives 8 times in a row before Alien. I love Jason Lives. Can't give me any of your shit. You can't hold me down. Part 7 3.25. Part 8 1.75. So then we moved to Larry. Larry gave the original Friday the 13th 4.25, a perfect 5.0 for part 2, 3.0 for part 3, 4.0 for part 4. Oh, we had a theme for a while there.
I saw that, yeah.
Part 5 was 1.5.
Nuts.
Part 6 was 1.25.
Right on.
Part 7 was 2.5, and part 8 was a 1.0, which is his bottom. Will we go under that? And then for John, the original was a 3. The sequel was 3.75. Part 3, 2.75. Part 4, 2.25. Part 5 was a 4.0. Part 6, 3.25. Or no, that was Manster's.
Whoa.
No, that was Manster's score, the one he did with us. John gave part 6 a 1.5.
That's way too generous. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. All right.
Part 7, a 1.75, and part 8, a 1.25.
All right, let's start with Stu. What do you give Jason Goes to Hell?
I gave this a 0.75, which might still be generous. It's real bad, but it's still a Jason, man, and they napalm Jason.
Holly gives it a 0.234. Anybody else out there want to chime in? Come on, give it to us. We'd love to know. Maybe we're gonna find out pretty soon what Jalen thinks if she's hanging around.
I gotta kill a spider. Don't look.
Oh no!
It's done.
Done.
It's all done. It's all done.
Poor spider.
Hey, it's in my house. That's the problem. Like,
yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
Outside, have a good time. And sometimes I'll even trap them and put them outside. But
yeah.
We had mice when we first moved in, like second year or so, and I felt terrible. But you know what? You're in the house. I can't let that happen. Outside, I'll do whatever for you, but in the house,
you got to get cats. Our townhouse we lived in before we moved here, we used to get mice like at least once every couple of months, and it was kind of fun just watching our cats go Hulk on a mouse.
You know what my secret is, Stu? Is I'm always hungry for mice. Let's see. Chris gives it a 1.5. Chris, are you?
Wow.
Chris, how many are you? 6 beers deep at this point? Are you okay? Are you all right? Patrick gives it a 75. This thing is getting a lot of 3/4 here. Chris, I'm surprised. I think Chris went lower, if I remember. I could be wrong on maybe the last one. So, but again, some people dig this film. We'll finish off with Larry. Yeah, I don't think I could breach 1 on this. If 1.25 was my Manhattan score,
yeah,
and man, that was a light years better movie than this, and that was a shit ball of a movie. I enjoyed watching that one more. So I'm gonna go. Jalen, what does Jalen give it?
What do you give as a score for Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday? No, you haven't watched it. She hasn't seen it.
Just based on the title, what would you give it based on the title?
Give it a score 1 through 5, just based on the title. Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday.
1 through 5.
You give it a 5? No. 1 through 5. Yeah, 1 through 5.
I think a 3.
A 3? That's way too high.
You're
out of the game. You're out of the game. Sorry.
Jalen, if you could step into my office, you're fired. See ya.
Oh, she's adjusting.
She's adjusting for She's
adjusting downward to 2.
It's like Daddy doesn't seem to like this. You're gonna find out sooner or later. All right, yeah, I'm gonna go. This thing can't breach a 1. Yes, we will. We will discuss Freddy's Claw because that's how it ends. That doesn't help the score though. I think I'm gonna go with Stu and say 75.75. I think it would be a 50 if it wasn't for the interview with the director, who kind of, at the very least, you can't fault a guy for such passion and gusto that he actually had. The same thing with the I don't remember if it was Manhattan or the telekinetic one, but the director for that one was also so passionate about what he was that the Bickler.
Yeah, Bickler.
7. He gave it a little bit of 0.2 because the guy really wanted to make a good movie, and maybe he didn't. Whatever. Larry, what do you give it?
Yeah, same as you. Like I had it super low. The director interview because I like the director. I was like, I like this guy a lot better than his movie. you know, and I get, again, like you said, what he was trying to do. He was trying to do something different. I don't agree with what he was trying to do, but I get it. I can't go anything over a half, 0.5. That's as high as I can go, because it's like I said, it literally took me 3-4 hours to watch this fucking thing because I kept pausing it and walking away, and just I was so uninterested. Even, you know, and you're giving me Easter eggs like the Necronomicon and the Crate from Creep Show and things like that, and I'm still out of it. Like, I don't. Without those things, it probably would have been a flat 0. At least those were fun to look at. Like, I was like, oh hey, fucking, you know, Arctic Expedition, The Thing, hey. But
well, as Holly mentioned a second ago, speaking of Easter eggs, the biggest Easter egg in the movie that was going to lead. I mean, I guess let's ask Stu first, because Stu, you were at the age where you were really in love with these type of movies. You were hurt by the fact that Jason wasn't in this. Did you, like, you know, drop a load in your like 13-year-old undies when you saw
the fact that they give you that and then do nothing with it for 10 years is like if Avengers Infinity War came out, ended the way it did, and then the MCU was like, oh fuck, we got nothing. It's going to be another decade before you see how Infinity War ends. Sorry, guys.
Basically what they did. That's basically what they did. Like, they did that, and I'm sure there was plenty of talk of doing the movie, but they got so tired of it, they were like, fuck it, let's just put Jason in space.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to digging in a little bit about backstory.
I don't know if I was more disappointed that we saw the glove and it was a decade before we got the payoff to that, or if I was more disappointed after we did finally get Freddy versus Jason, all of the rumors instantly shifted to there's going to be a sequel and it's going to have Ash, and then that never happened.
Right. Patrick notes that Marcus also wrote Texas Chainsaw 3D. Anywhere here seen it? Any good? I have seen it. I can tell you a couple of things about it.
One good part. Good part.
It is a direct sequel to the first one. It literally picks up the day after the events of the first one. The single best part of that movie, and I don't hate that movie. The premise is goofy as hell.
Oh yeah.
But Alexandra Daddario.
There it is. Far and away the best part of the movie.
Alexandra Daddario, is the lead in this film, and she's one of those actresses that's like I hate to use the word breathtaking, but like you're like, holy Christ. Where was she manufactured? Because that can't be real. But she's beautiful. It's really weird kind of twist ending to the movie. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I think it's always on, like not Shudder, but what Pluto TV or something. If you have any of those, Patrick, and it's on, it's an hour and a half. Check it out. You know,
I'll say that it's a much more cohesive film than Jason Goes to Hell. Yeah, Holly just said it. That's the fucking worst line in fucking cinematic history, maybe. It's a much more cohesive film than Jason Goes to Hell. That's for goddamn sure.
Yes, it absolutely is. And it's a better movie than the last Chainsaw, the Leatherface thing.
Oh, that was bad.
That was so stupid. That was so fucking stupid. That one with Steven Dorff Stu, are you enjoying Pastrami again? Did we get you? Yeah.
I just don't want everything to go stale. I still have half a sandwich over here. Is the Leatherface one? Is that the one where Leatherface is kind of like a good guy?
Yes.
Okay. My wife watched that. I saw parts.
It's about him as a kid, and they try to trick you into thinking that one kid is Leatherface and not the other, and it's the kid you think it is the whole time. It's so stupid. It's not good at all. That's a series that I maybe at some point after Nightmare we do those, because they're doing another one. They're making another one right now that I think is another direct sequel to the first one. There are literally like 3 or 4 different versions of timelines, like in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they've just kept rebooting that franchise, haven't they?
They reboot it over and over again, and it never fucking works.
And I never understand whenever there's a new one coming out, I'm like, what is this? Is this a sequel? Is it a remake of the first one? Because I don't think they've ever remade the first one. Like, I don't think
the Jessica Biel one. Jessica Biel, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
And that one is actually pretty solid.
That's for Arlie Ermey's in that, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And then
it's not bad. It's not bad.
the prequel to that one is not good. So the Jessica Biel one is pretty good. It's pretty tight to the story of the original. And then they did a prequel to it like a couple years later that was not good at all.
What was it called?
I think it was called like The Beginning.
Yeah, I don't think I saw it.
Who's the guy that plays Leatherface in those? The guy that played in Batman Returns. He was Christopher Walken's son, Chip. What was his name? Oh, he was in the program.
Andrew Byrne, the pronounced. You guys are fucking douchebag.
Yeah, Andrew Brzezinski or whatever.
Did you? Yeah, when Gunnar, Stu, you know who Gunnar Hansen is? Gunnar Hansen played.
I know the name.
He played the original Leatherface.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when he died, like this Andrew guy tweeted out, "Who gives a fuck?" And you know what?
Jesus.
Fucking, who gives a fuck about you? Fucking.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's why I'm going way too far. Yeah, I never saw this the beginning one, but it's got 13% on Rotten Tomatoes. So
yeah,
so there's that.
It's not great. It's not the Jessica Biel one is pretty solid. Has some pretty good gore moments in it. And then the second one is not up to the same quality. And the 3D one again, it's got a couple moments, but yeah, once you get into the cousins bit, and I'm gonna spoil it. All right, I'm gonna spoil it because I just think it's the weirdest. I don't care if you're watching it. I'm sorry, but so here's the idea behind the 3D one. The beginning of it is the day after the events of the Chainsaw Massacre. The townspeople all get together and set the house on fire. And the law runs them out, right? It's like, we know you killed these kids, and you guys are bastards, and they kill them, right? Nobody hears from Leatherface for like 25 years, but there's a baby at the house, right? You never see in the first movie, and the baby gets hidden somehow. I can't remember how. 25 years later, Alexandra Daddario grows up. She gets a letter. She lives with these. You don't know she's the baby, but she is. She lives with these adoptive shitball parents, right? She gets a letter saying, "I've tracked you down. You are the inheritor of a estate in Texas." She gets a couple of her friends together. Her boyfriend, her girlfriend, her skanky girlfriend, who was like fucking her boyfriend behind her back, and they pick up a hitchhiker. They go down, and she inherits the fucking Chainsaw Massacre house, right? It's not completely burned down. I can't remember the whole thing. So she gets the house. They go in the house. They're all chilling out. Hey, this house is gonna be great. We're gonna party here, right? You find out they leave the hitchhiker behind to go get food. This is what they do. They leave to go into town, and they leave the hitchhiker they picked up 10 minutes before to watch their brand new house. Guess what? He fucking raids the house, starts robbing the place. Guess what he doesn't know? Leatherface lives in the fucking basement. So Leatherface murders this dude, slams his head in the door, whatever he does, like he always does. He's always hammering someone on the head. He's like a lot of
movement.
He's
not
a lot,
not a stealthy guy, not a stealthy guy.
No,
not a lot of stealth.
Yeah, and right, and the Devil's Rejects, the lead character should be in her 40s, which is correct. It takes place in current day. 73, she's 22 or whatever, makes no sense. So anyways, just to kind of get to the end of it, Leatherface is trying to kill her for the whole movie. At the very end of the movie, the crooked sheriff from the beginning and his deputy, who's Scott Eastwood, Clint Eastwood's son, they get her, and they're gonna, I think they realize that she's a Hewitt or whatever it's called, Sawyer. They've got her, and they got her hung up in in like some giant warehouse, and they rip her shirt down because it's Alexandra Daddario, so you got to see something. You don't see boobie, but you see her body. Leatherface finally catches up to her because he's been trying to kill her the whole movie. He fights off the cops. He's just about to kill her, and then he sees she's got this birthmark. She has the ancestral Sawyer birthmark that they all have, which I didn't know was a fucking thing. So he looks at his arm, and he sees that he's got the birthmark, and now he knows she's got the birthmark. And right before he kills her, she says, I'm your cousin. Search your feelings. It's like Star Wars. Yeah. And he looks at her, and he tilts his head like those kind of characters do. And he lets her out, he lets her off the hook, and then like he turns around to the sheriff and the cop, and that's when I think Holly said she says, "Get him, cuz," and then he fucking slaughters everybody.
Tosses him the chainsaw, right?
She throws him the chainsaw, right? Yeah. We do. We get cameos and everything. Tosses him the chainsaw. He kills all the bad guys.
Yeah.
They walk back to the ancestral home. She brings him downstairs, opens the room to his door. He hangs up the chainsaw, washes his hands, whatever the fuck he does. He goes back inside, shuts the door. And then she reads a letter from like the executor of the will that says like, "You've inherited the house, but your cousin comes with it. As long as you take care of him, no one will ever bother you." So she fucking stays. Yeah. So now she lives with Leatherhead, Leatherface in the basement of her house. Leatherman, and all she has to do is feed him a peanut butter and jelly sandwich once a day with a glass of milk. Yeah. She puts it outside of the door and then goes upstairs and happily ever after. You know what? I was too kind before. It is a fucking stupid movie.
Yeah. Absolutely. But she's right. You got a ton. Gunnar Hansen's actually in it. Gunnar Hansen. The beginning scene at the farm is like all those, the family, like when they come for the family, it's like John Dugan, who played the original grandfather, Bill Moseley, who played Chop Top in Part 2, Gunnar Hansen, who played Leatherface, Marilyn Burns is one of the. It's like all of them. So that's cool. Like just to be like, oh, hey, look, it's all of them. And then after that, it's just a fucking mess, except for Alexandra Daddario. That's the only good bit.
Yes.
Stu's like on mute of some
Stu,
sort.
Are you on mute? You're gone.
His computer got sick of hearing about Jason Goes to Hell.
Did one of your cats step on your mute button, Stu?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh.
Nope. You're breaking up.
Oh, I don't know what to do.
You're there.
It's good now.
You don't have to see the movie now. Oh, now he can't hear us. He's gone.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Am I breaking up? Am I making
You decide to have technical issues in the last minute of the show, Stu. Real fucking professional.
Yeah.
So wait, what is the difference between this one that you're talking about, this 3D one, and the Leatherface one?
Leatherface is another prequel, but it's about him as a little kid or a teenage boy.
Okay, the one I was talking about where Leatherface is kind of a good guy, I think it's that 3D one. Because that's what I remember is like, oh, he was in a room and he ends up being the hero at the end.
Yeah, he's the hero at the end. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's like, are they heroes? What's going on here? It's not good.
Okay.
It's not good.
Patrick's absolutely right. When shitty sequels bring back actors to remind you how much better those movies were.
Yeah. Yeah.
So true.
So it is true.
Like, hey, we're gonna fucking jam this scene with all the people you love, and then make you spend the next hour and a half watching a pile of shit.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, guys.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go and finish the first episode of Cobra Kai, which I started today. I have luckily not been too spoiled. So I'm going to go finish that. Guys, until we do Jason X or 10 or whatever the fuck it's called, I want to thank everybody that's chilled out with us and watched. It's been a fun time. Thank you guys for your time as always. Hopefully next time we don't have a movie that is so hard to fucking talk about. I do think based just on Jason X's premise, we'll be a little bit more at least it's so different that there's gonna be some good stuff to talk about. So until then, this has been Pint of Comics with Stu from SWO Productions. Again, please go and check out his really good articles and his really odd opinions because I enjoy them very much. And Larry over at horrornewsnetwork.net. Check out his top 20 of 20. And until next time, I got to burp. See ya.